I can't help but still think they're probably related somehow. They look too alike. What's up, guys? That guy with a pencil. Your fun fact. I do it too. Have it on me and keep it on me at all times. Another fun fact. Yeah. I mean, like, you know what time it is? I know what time it is. It's Ichi the Witch time. It's peak every week. So you're not gonna pre-draw, but I'm excited. I'm excited to hop into chapter 79 of Ichi the Witch, which is known as How Are You Doing? And I don't know, like I'm staring at these two. And I know Ichi's like heritage it's gonna be a plot point. I don't think like every other character's parentage and lineage and familial history is a plot point. Every major character, right? Every major human character. I know Uro doesn't have a family as far as we know. But specifically, every other character here, Komugi's has her whole family plotline with Spica and her parents and all the things with that. Deskros, well, her family's gone. She was an orphan. Libro is a massive part of her motivations as a character. And Gokuraku is obviously heavily defined by all the things that were happening in Kagami. And his older sister Richa and his mother. It's like, his family's gonna be relevant. Alright, let's not sugarcoat it. Let's not sugarcoat it. And like, especially knowing Osamu Nishi Sensei's writing, knowing in heavy quotation marks. I've only read Iruma-kun once. But still, in my reading of Iruma-kun, even Iruma-kun's family, which isn't like like his actual biological family, it isn't a major part, but it is a major part, if you know what I'm talking about. Like, they aren't actively involved in the narrative that often, but they still are extremely relevant, and that's their other main character. And once again, thinking of all the other main characters in Osamu Nishi Sensei's work, all of them have really important stuff with their families and lineages. I'm thinking of Alice's family, and specifically his mother. We never actually met Alice's dad. That's something, I think about that. I need to think about that more. But regardless, Alice has his whole thing with his mother and his whole family line, how he doesn't even use his actual bloodline magic. You have Clara, who has her connections with her family, literally the older sister. Once again, have we met her dad? We know he exists. He's been referenced, but I don't think we've seen him. We've only seen the mother. But regardless, his family's gonna be important. And I can't help but think, like, remember all the way back during the Hisame Magic arc, I was like, Minakata low-key looks like he's related to Ichi. And it's still the exact same thing here. Will it actually be? Probably not. Well, I don't know. Something about it. But let's see. Let's not waste more time. Let's hop right into chapter 79. How are you doing? Let's see. So, everyone, let me introduce you. This is Minakata. I do agree, Gokuraku. I'm not sure if it's Gokuraku or Desuka saying he's huge, and he is gargantuan. Like, Ichi is at least, like, the lowest we're put. Do we have any biological information about any of these characters, bro? I feel like I do this like every other review. Ichi. Wiki. Ichi the Witch. I'm here. Ichi, do we know how tall... Ichi? Why do I call him Ichi? Ichi, do we know how tall you are? 5'5". So he's 5'5". Minakata has to be at least as smooth, like, to be head and shoulders above somebody. Like, I'm 6'2". So if I'm head and shoulders above somebody, usually they're like 5'2", 5'4". Like, in that range. So for Ichi to be 5'5", Minakata's gotta be a smooth, like, 6'7". Like, solid, big boy. So yeah, he's huge. Let's see. This is Minakata. That's Minakata. Because Gokuraku, I still love that. Gokuraku wasn't there during the Isami Magic arc, so he has no context for who this guy is supposed to be. But at least Komugi and Deskros have some vague context. And, man, Deskros is endlessly fine. But regardless, let's see. Remember? I told you about him during the Isame Magic Hunt. Man, this guy Pencil can't read. He always flips the pronunciations on magic and magic, even though he specifically went out of his way all the way back when he first started reviewing the series to differentiate between the two, so you can know what he's talking about in case you happen to just listen to reviews and don't watch them. But he keeps fumbling that back. Let's see. Remember? I told you about him during the Hisame Magic Hunt. He's a fisher who helped me back when I was living on the mountain. He's weird and wild and amazing. You know what, though? I specifically, and I am a weird guy, but whenever I was younger, I get very insecure about being called weird. I'm like, what do you mean I'm weird? But like, yeah, in many contexts, I was and am a strange individual. Not in a bad way, but like, people look at me, and they're like, oh, you make videos? So you must do like gym or workout videos. I'm like, no. Oh, so you talk about current event? No. Oh, so what did I talk about? Manga. Oh, you mean like anime? Which has luckily enough become common enough that when I say manga, people are like, oh, they immediately link it to anime. I'm like, kind of, but not really. I'm like, specifically manga. And they look at me and they're like, you know, I wouldn't peg you for that. And I'd be like, please don't peg me. And also, yeah, I'm strange in that sense. I'm strange in a bunch of other senses. But now I take it as basically a compliment because it means I stand out a little bit. Let's see. So much blood. That is true. I forgot that the Sami Majik bled. That's weird. That's weird. To be fair, though, it is established that Majiks do have, like, biological functions and stuff like that. We still don't know if they have to eat, though. Like, I don't think we've seen a Majik eat yet. We know, well, actually, no, that's a lie. I don't think we saw it, but Chrono eats. Or Chrono ate. They ate the dust. But regardless, like Chrono ate. So, like, he eats. So I guess they do just, it's weird. I always forget that they have full biological processes. Let's see. Oh, right, the sashimi boat guy. It's true. And Goguraku's like, wait a second. Yeah, I'm glad everybody else is caught up to date. What is y'all talking about? Let's see. He taught me all about how to survive in the wilderness. Everything I know about hunting is based on what Minakata taught me. Which is crazy to think. Like, that, and I forget, I probably asked the same question back when Minakata was first introduced. Like, he must have shown up relatively oh wow, he must have shown up relatively quickly after Ichi was abandoned in the woods with the knife. Like, it couldn't have been more than a month before he was abandoned and then Minakata showed up, which is once again another reason why I feel like they have to be related in some sense. Like, I don't know, but it is very intriguing that Ichi literally would have died without Minakata. Like Honor Million, he would have made it to the current state he's in without Minakata. Wild to think about. Let's see. Based on what Minakata taught me. Oh, he's so... Oh, my heart! Oh, my heart! And hey, admittedly, as a large guy, too, like, well, to be fair, I can pick up, like, full-scale adults, but I can't swing them around like this. But whenever I'm, like, taking care of any of my baby cousins, some of my other, like, because they're my cousins, like, they're my first cousin, and then their kids are technically my second cousin. I just call them all cousins. I don't care about the semantics of the differentials, but they're, like, their kids are now 10, 12, like, they're big at this point. Like, I think the youngest I still easily pick up is, like, 8. And they're like, please put them down. We stopped carrying them years ago. And I'm like, but they're baby. They're always going to be baby. Because Uncle Pencil's old. Or Cousin Pencil's old. But that's so adorable. Look how happy Ichi is. He's literally whirling about. He's so content. Let's see. And now we get to see each other again. After 10 whole years. I couldn't be happier. I'm so happy for him. It's crazy though that Minakata said, I live. And then just dipped. Like, you never check back in? Like, you know he probably didn't leave. I mean, I get it, you're busy. But, like, never? Never checking out in 10 years? That's crazy. Let's see. Wow, I haven't seen you this excited in a while. Me too, Goguraku. Let's see. You two must be great friends. I guess? Depends on how long they spent together, but, like, and to be fair, is there someone who I haven't seen in, like, a decade that I'd say, yeah, we'd probably be able to chop it? Yeah. There are, like, 3 people I can think of where if I ran into them again, it would just be like, hey, like, we have to do some catch-up because, like, a lot has happened in 10 years. Like, me from 10 years ago versus me now. Really different people, but still, general same baseline. So, I guess it is still the case. You can hold very strong connections, especially if you did spend a lot of time when you, like, just an extensive period of time with anybody, you will build connection. Let's see. By the way, sashimi boat guy? Oh, you see... Yeah, they never did, like... I guess they never would have any reason to talk about the previous hunts that existed before Gokuraku. It makes sense he doesn't have context. Let's see. My name is Minakata. It is an honor to meet you. I brought this as a gift. So he's been working with them for the past 10 years, presumably. But, or at least for a while. But this is the first time he's actually been introduced to the association properly. Or at least if this is him giving... My name is Minakata. It's an honor to meet you. I brought this as a gift. Dried long swordfish. Made it myself. Please, feel free to share. Hey, wanna go if you're gonna eat it? I'll eat it. Swordfish is delicious. I've only had it like twice in my life, but still, it's delicious. Let's see. How very polite. Circos the hauler. He has to carry them. I do love the little visual gags in the chapters that Shiro Uzumaki-sensei does. Let's see. It's only proper, given how good y'all have been to my age. Oh, my boy. Oh, I see. See, like, you never visited him, though. Never, like, that's the thing that sucks. Maybe he was that busy. It's only proper, given how good y'all have been to my boy, Ichi. As he mentioned, I'm the one who taught him everything he knows about hunting and mountain survival. Though the time we spent together was short. So it's like you did! You basically adopted this child for a little bit. Said, time to clock back in, and then it left him for 10 years? Like Minakata, I still like it. And I do agree. Everyone says Minakata was their favorite. And I agree. But still, gosh, well, it's actually, no, I really like that tall guy's design. Like, the guy with the long flowy hair, I still don't know who he reminds me of. I still know he like, the hair gives Raditz length, except longer, / arc, I don't know. But let's see. Well, the time we spent together was short. I consider myself his mentor. I want to get caught up in the like that. And to be fair, I like, especially back in the day when I did theater specifically, I specifically started doing theater in like 7th grade, and then by the time of like 9th and 10th grade, specifically 10th grade, I had done theater consistently enough that in my little neighborhood I was relatively known for doing theater. Didn't help that I was the only African American guy doing theater, so you stand out a lot. And in that case, I did, like, there were some people I basically low-key did adopt who were like, you're an inspiration. Teach me how you do things. Because supposedly I was good at it. I don't know. I still think I was decent. But in that way, I do understand that. Like, even if you don't spend too long with somebody, once they, like, look up to you and you're teaching them things, it's like, yeah, low-key, I kind of raised you. I kind of, like, I have so many sons and daughters. None of which with any blood relation. And I get that. But it looks like Descaros is insulted. Excuse me? Well, Descaros, you weren't there on the mountain to raise the boy. Let's see. Well, at least help him survive. Excuse me? Oh my, his mentor? And Monogold's just feeding into the rage bait. I love Monogold. She's gonna die. I thought, but see, I don't know why. Especially considering, like, thinking I always reference back to somebody she says the other work now that I've read it, Uruma-kun. There has been no major relevant character death there. At least not yet. And for reference, that series is over, like, 400 chapters long. It's a very, very long series, and it's nowhere near done. Like, I could genuinely easily see Uruma-kun hitting that, like, 1,000 chapter mark. And for those who haven't read Uruma-kun, that may sound insane. Dog, I feel like we simultaneously made so much progress and no progress at all. Like, it's wild. But regardless, there is no major character death in either of those stories, but for some reason, especially when Monogold back during the World Hitter arc was like, yeah, I need to think of a successor. Why do you need to think of a successor unless you're gonna die? Like, Monogold, like, the oldest Monogold could be is 50. And I'm really eyeballing it. She looks like 30s at most, being honest. It ain't gonna be old age. Why you think about success? She could just want to retire, though. Let's see. Wow, what a coincidence. You were Ichi's mentor way back in the past? Ah, his past mentor. Oh, I'm sorry. Where are my manners? Allow me to introduce myself. I'm Descaros, the strongest witch in the world. Let's see. I recruited Ichi into the Witches Association. Now I teach him all there is to... Well! Now, Descaros, baby girl, you know I love you. But hold on a second. You see that button? Hold on a second. I mean, like, I know you've basically been raising the boy now, but like, that's because have you had a single parent you teaching Ichi much of anything? Like he's picked up stuff from you, but mentor wise, I feel like you haven't done as much of direct teaching as Minakata presumably did. Let's see. I do like how Minakata is genuinely taken aback though. It's like, wait, what? I teach him all there is to know about magic. I'm his current, new mentor. And that actually got to him. Minakata seems like such a nonchalant guy, but I also, funnily enough, I talk about, like, me having mentor experiences and basically adopting people. But also, I do have some, like, very stoic, very introverted friends who ended up, not in the same way, like, they didn't do theater, but they were things that they did that they, like, real accidental adoption. Like, I became friends with them through extroversion / I see we have slightly similar interests, we shall now be friends whether you want to or not. But they also, like, they accidentally ended up adopting people, and they built such a strong sense of pride about it that, like, when someone else would talk about them, it would be one of the rare times I ever see them get defensive. I mean, Minakata seems to be the same way. Let's see. It's a pleasure, I'm sure. Huh? Minakata? Look, he's genuinely shaking, like, how you gonna steal my son from me? I know he spent like 10 weeks with him. Which we don't know how long it was. He said just a short time though. But still, I get the insult. Let's see. Minakata? To be fair, though, specifically when it came to my kids, I was always fine with letting them out because they weren't actually my kids. Like, I specifically remember one time they came to apologize to me because, like, oh yeah, sorry, I spent so much time with such and such, and they were like giving me little tips and tricks and stuff like that. I'm sorry about that. I'm like, why are you apologizing? They're literally just as good, if not better, of an actor than I am. Please, please ask them for help. I'm not the end all be all when it comes to this thing. Let's see. Thank you very much for looking after my Ichi. Fancy bow. And teaching him what you know as his old mentor. I'm sorry, his former mentor. I love it. Let's see. Thanks to you, he's doing extremely well. He's no longer the mountain hunter. You, his ex-mentor, taught him to be, and is turning into a bright, promising witch under my guidance. I love Deskar so much, bro. I love Deskar so much. Let's see. I gotcha. You're Ichi's magic teacher. In other words, you came after me, which makes you his number 2 mentor. Oh, he's got the rage. Ladies and gentlemen, he's got the rage bait down. He's got the rage bait. I love it. Yes, give me beef between these two. Let's see. I'm his number 1 mentor, and that is true though. That it like there are many cases where I've had to like, and it's crazy. Sometimes you do have to explain it. Like, well, yeah, X person does hold more priority and more of my faith because I did know them longer. Like when so especially I remember like there was like 5. What was it? No, now because it's 2026. It was like 7 years ago. I was talking to somebody and I was explaining them advice, and very specifically they like, oh, so where'd you learn that stuff? And I was like, oh, my parents. And they're like, why do you like, because they've known me for a while, and they're like, huh, a lot of the stuff you do is like based off what your parents have taught you, what your parents said. Like, why do you have like so much faith in what they say? And I was like, they birthed me. They made me. They made me and are like literally responsible for not only my existence but like who I am as a person. And luckily enough, I have a healthy relationship with my parents. I know there are many people who don't, and I'm very grateful to have like a healthy, consistent relationship with my own creators. But in that same vein, they didn't get like, especially because they were like trying to give counter advice, and I was like, no, that's not really something I would do. But to be fair, we were just talking about a bunch of things, and they're like, yeah, man, I feel like you shouldn't fall too consistently to them. Like you shouldn't really be so loyal. And I'm like, I have no reason not to. It is that case where the people you know longer, especially if they are like, being a hunter is foundational to Ichi's character. Like it just is. So yeah, technically there's a lot of weight being put behind that. Let's see. Deskar and Minakata are chatting. That's great. He's like, Mom. The dad who stepped up and the mom who stepped up are having a conversation, and Ichi's like, we're so good. We're so bad. Let's see. You sure? Oh, wait, no, the Tikarashi. You sure that's what's happening over there? Stop them. Hey, I let it rock. I mean, presumably Deskar would win. But, I don't know. We'll see. Because she did seem very worried about the weapons that they had. And Minakata is wielding a really big weapon. Let's see. Whatever the case, this is a lovely coincidence. To think someone Ichi owes such a big debt to would belong to our humble organization. My. Hello, I'm Minakata's boss. My name is Chun. I was hoping I could meet you, Ichi the witch. Hold up! Monoko got so wrapped up in the rage, bitch, she forgot. She forgot she was in a boss encounter. But, yeah, obviously, though, I always, it is interesting. I always, at least for me, I've always separated, like, the professional and the personal, right? So even for, like, the people I've known, because obviously you spend a lot of time with the people you work with. It's just, like, a law of nature. But beyond work, I don't interact very casually with any of my coworkers. This has just been a consistent thing across, like, all the different jobs I've had through my life. It's just not something I do. And I've occasionally been asked about it, and it's like, I just don't really feel like those two worlds, the fact that they're separate brings me peace. I like the overlap. While it could possibly be interesting, and occasionally it has like organically happened, I'm never gonna push anything like that for things like this. Like I wouldn't want my relationship to someone in my personal life to be somehow like in jeopardy and or linked back to something in my professional life. It just like the idea worries me, so I would never want it to happen. Let's see. Huh? Oh no! I wanted to ask you something.
Whoa, wait a minute. We don't have to start any recruitment.
Tell me. Oh. Oh, okay, never mind. Alright. Well, he's not asking. Well, to be fair, I guess it... This design looks familiar. This design... There is an artist. I think they're on multiple platforms. I specifically remember them from a certain app that is a clock. And the character design here reminds me so much. I forget, because like they will disappear from my For You page for like months and then they'll reappear. I think it's something Survivor, right? That's what this design reminds me of. It reminds me of like which I know their avatar is literally just themselves, right? Like that's actually what their avatar is. Like my avatar is also just me, but I still find it funny, like especially considering the pre-face reveal era versus the current face reveal era. A lot of people during the initial parts of the face reveal era were just like, oh, your avatar is just you with spiky hair and less beard. I'm like, yeah. That's it. Like, it is just me. But notably, I believe their Sona is like a literal 1-to-1. And that's what this design reminds me of. Even from like the tired eyes to the... Is that a freckle there? I hope that's not good on my screen. Yeah, there's a freckle there. So interesting. Let's see. Have you ever seen this woman? Whip. Huh? No, I haven't. Who is she? Oh, yoink. All right. Oh! Zayero. I like Zayero's design. And is he? Wait, hold on. Minakata, knocked out. Zayero, he did not, hold on. Am I tweaking? He did not have melanin last chapter. It's not much melanin. Wait, he did not have melanin last chapter. Wait a second. You know I gotta go back and fact check, bro. Hold on. I gotta go back and fact check. Did this person have melanin? They did. I just didn't notice. They're light skinned, but still, melanin. Yeah, Zayero has my favorite design. Yeah, they did. I just didn't notice. I just did not notice. All right, yeah. Zayero is my favorite character design of the even more than Minakata, bro. And maybe like, really, Pencil? You give a character a little melanin, you really like the characters? Yes. You know how rare it is to get melanated characters in the things I consume. Yes. Melanin. I'm sorry. Actually, no, I'm not. Yes. Let's see. Wait, no. But what voice do I give you, Zayero? Hold on, let's see. Number 1310 on the wanted list. We've been after her for years. She's a violent criminal and a witch. I do like that. You know what? Especially considering if we aren't going to get much of the other organizations, we haven't even fully explored the Mantanal, right? We've been introduced to 4 other witches. We're nearly 100 chapters deep, and I don't think we're going to see them anytime soon. But if we're not going to do things with like the other witch associations, which we do know exist, I am glad that we are at least dealing with the idea of evil witches, right? People who would use magic for negative things. Because so far, every single threat we faced has been a magic threat, not a magic threat. Obviously, a magic using magic, but specifically, every major arc we covered so far, each individual hunt has been based around magics versus magics. Even Hitsugi, who took on a very human form, was just another magic. But if we're actually going to have evil witches, I'm down. Let's see. Huh? Sorry. This is serious. I'll do the explaining instead of our leader. What does that mean? To be fair, though, I've had bosses like that, too, where, admittedly, I've never had to do it. It's usually always been someone with more seniority than me, but there are times where, like, you let the boss speak to build charisma points and, like, a dynamic, but if you want something properly explained seriously, yeah, you give it to so-and-so. I've seen it before. Let's see. During our investigation, we uncovered certain information about this witch. Zayero, Magic Keeper Chakram. Interesting. Let's see. We can now say for sure she has a connection inside the Mantanal Witches Association. Oh, that he wields a chakram. That's why he's Magic Keeper Chakram. But that's interesting. When I think of chakrams, I think of Axel's chakrams from Kingdom Hearts, but they are technically, in fact, let me look up chakrams. I'm pretty sure Axel's are just like consistently, like a lot of the other organization weapons, it's just extremely over designed. So whenever I see a regular chakram, it doesn't even register to me. Let's see. Chakram. Yeah, it's literally just rings. Concentric or the metal rings. So yeah, Axel's just really fancy. Let's see. Huh? A mole? No. You're saying there's a traitor in our association who aids a wanted criminal? I believe it though, right? Especially with now us knowing that the Mantanal really does have large amounts of influence. They aren't literally the government, but they stand nearly an equal measure to them, and that's why the Magic Keeper Association was made to sort of counterbalance them. I 100% believe, thanks to the scale and influence, that there'd be a traitor. Yeah, I mean, like, that's kind of just natural. It's like, it's human nature. But it's like, unfortunately,
I am. The other day, we received a report that you allowed an intruder into your inner floors, too.
So they presumably also, and to be fair, we've seen men, obviously they're Circos, but we've seen men be a part of the Witch Association. Like, they do work in the Mangonel. And thusly, I would not be shocked if a man who possibly, like, couldn't do the physical side of the work for the Magic Keepers was presumably just be like, hey, go join the Mangonel Witch Association. Give us updates on what's happening in there. And that's probably where they get this information, too. Let's see.
Hitsuki, how much do they know?
Did they know you have Hitsuki? That's right. Are we ever gonna address that? Like, you just ate him. Let's see.
Typically, we'd request an immediate search of facilities, as well as ask you to provide us with a list of every member of this association.
I'm shocked you don't already have that. Well, to be fair, though, they are meant to be, like, that's the thing. The Magic Keepers are meant to be in equal measure, and obviously, they are still fundamentally disconnected, right? Like, that's the whole point. It's why Chun last chapter was like, yeah, that's a nice story you have there. We're not working with you, and we never will. And that's why they would need to request the information. Why they probably don't know everything about each other. We'll see.
No. We refuse to comply with any investigation that threatens the rights and privacy of our members.
That is nice. I do 100% believe there is some sort of traitor. And I don't think it's going to be the Evil Witch. Like it's probably, if I had to hazard a guess, because it's not going to be any of our main cast, right? It's probably not going to be Togais. I highly doubt it's going to be Shira Badana. If it's going to be one, it's going to be one of the 4 witches we were introduced to. And I'm going to assume it's the Music Witch. The Cacophony Witch, I believe is what she was called. I don't remember her name. I don't think it's going to be the Bullet Witch. I don't think it's going to be the Evil Witch. I think the Evil Witch is probably going to be a red herring. And what was the third one? The Gluttonous one? Actually, it's a coin toss. Only reason I'm still going more with the Cacophony Witch is because Gluttony, well, to be fair, I'm thinking of One Piece right now. And, like, York was a traitor in One Piece. So, but she was also heavily based around Gluttony. So I'm like, maybe that's like an inspiration. So maybe the Gluttonous Witch does betray, and like she's unsuspecting because she seems so like insecure. Or it could be the Cacophony Witch. It's probably gonna be one of those. I don't think it's gonna be the Evil Witch. Let's see.
Thought as much. Guess the friendly act is over.
I mean, like, friendly enough. Let's see.
Ichi the Witch, you only joined the association recently. Therefore, you aren't on our list of suspects. But if you happen to come across any information, would you pass it along to us? Think of it as helping your mentor, Minakata. Do you mind?
I get that. To be fair, I understand wanting to utilize Ichi, because supposedly he would be clean. But of course, there is the byproduct of, like, hypothetically, obviously the traitor isn't. But the issue with, like, relying on Ichi is, what if the traitor's Deskros? What if the traitor's Togais, right? Like, the people who have been directly responsible for Ichi so far, like, he may unknowingly be helping them all, right? Even though he joined recently, that doesn't exclude him from being included in plots. And especially considering his special nature, I assume whoever the mole/traitor is and whoever this witch is probably have a lot of interest in Ichi just because of what he is. He is an exception. Let's see.
If you find this witch... Wait, if you find this witch, are you going to capture her? Of course. To protect the safety of innocent civilians, we intend to find some means of incapacitating her upon arrest.
Okay. It is interesting, though, that she's suspect 1310. So there are a lot of suspects on their list. Maybe it's like they have suspects and then they just number it up. But if that's like a semi-active list, especially if they've been hunting her for years, they have a lot of people they're looking after. We'll see. No, it's not Testament. I said Testament last time. Testament's not melanated. But then again, I didn't know what Zairo. I didn't know Zairo was melanated. But there is a specific character I'm trying to link them to. Let's see. Oh, I know who it is. This is who. Okay, what's his name? Oh, I haven't played Engage in so long. What's his name? Zelkov. For any of my people who play Fire Emblem Engage, that's who Zairo reminds me of. Especially now that I know he's melanated, that's who Zairo reminds me of. He gives me such strong Zelkov vibes and like a hint of Niles. But I think that's like very, very loose for now. I think the melanin's like guided me to Niles. Character-wise and like design-wise, it's Zelkov with longer hair. There we go. Like RU hair length and a little bit of radius hair spike. Let's see. Oh. Okay. June's not my business. Let's see.
No. She has to die.
Ichi? Ichi's like, wait a second, this is the first time I'll be catching a human body. Let's see.
Man, woman, young, old, even young children. She doesn't hesitate to slice off their heads like you'd slice a bite off your dinner steak.
And I bet there'd still be infinite people that would. In fact, I know 3 people. Okay, I was talking to them after we recorded this video. I know 3 people personally who read Ichi the Witch who are probably like, I let her cut me up, and I said, no! I don't care! Don't do that! We'll see.
She's vicious, remorseless, and cruel. She's an enemy of humanity who sold her soul to Majix. Wanted criminal number 1310. Her name is Fujimine, the Vanquisher Witch.
Ooh! Ooh! Wait a minute. Why did I feel the aura? Hold on! Wait a minute! I felt the aura. Okay, why? I felt low. Why? I think it's because Vanquisher is such a title. But alright. It is interesting though. So that is definitely another thing I do wonder. Do witches choose their titles or are they given to them, right? Like, for example, we now know that Majix seemingly innately know their names, right? Because of how they're structured and created. And that's why I still think we're probably gonna find out by the end of the series. But that's the thing. We know Majix know their names. Like, Kizashi knew innately he was the Octobon Majik. He wasn't just named that by humanity. He had that name. We saw him reference it when he was very, very young and presumably hadn't had any real interaction with humans. Remember, the Mental Witch Association didn't even know about Kizashi. They were just sent to the Pendulum Sea for Chrono. And obviously Chrono Weaver knew his name as Chrono Weaver. But for the witches things, do they, like, who decides their names? And, like, do they decide their own names or are they given to them as well? Because, as people pointed out, Deskros is likely called the Abyssal Witch because of the abyssal amount of magic she's captured. I believe Togeis is the Silver Snow Witch, which makes sense with their association with ice magic. But, like, did they approve those names? Like, for this, did she decide to call herself the Vanquisher Witch, or was, after her numerous actions of presumably mass slaughter, was it just given to her as a title? I don't know. I really like it. Man, Shiro's designs, you just don't miss with these designs. It's nothing but banger after banger after banger after banger. Though, admittedly, now, they do remind me a little bit less of that artist I'm thinking of. It's in this picture, especially, that they remind me of it, but I think it's a different hairstyle here. But let's see. Man, the design is immaculate, though.
The Vanquisher Witch.
So,
Wait! I mean, hey! Hold on! Well, I mean, he did just say she sold her soul to Majix. But hold on! I was that world hater jump scare? Yo, my heart went from here straight out my cheeks, bro. Wait, what are you doing here? Alright.
so, how have you been lately? Haiti. Nicknames are okay, right?
I mean, like, I get it, but hey, you know what? I did want an update on World Hater and how he was dealing with, losing 2 of his 7 stars and presumably his right-hand man, or right-hand Majik. But, alright. So, she did. I mean, unless the World Hater's about to absolutely annihilate her, they are sitting together, though. This is interesting. Let's see. It hates. So even she doesn't know their name, right? Like, I'm assuming the World Hater Majik just hasn't given anybody his actual real name. So they've named him World Hater, right? I don't think, like, Uro has taken pride in his nature as the King Majik, so he's probably, like, half chose that title, may have half been his innate title. But World Hater, I just don't think he's told anybody. But Fujimine here calls him Haiti, which is probably just a play on World Hater. So she probably doesn't know his name either, which actually builds the World Hater's intrigue even more. Let's see.
Haiti. Nicknames are okay, right?
She is very lean. Almost concerningly lean. Get your gains up, lady. Let's see. Well, to be fair, probably doesn't need them. But you know what, though? World Hater looks mad annoyed. They're like, man, I really don't want to do this right now, bro. I just lost 2 of my 7 stars, but I can replace them. You know how much is... They're like... the amount of times I've seen this look on people, I know they are 120% done. And just like Fujimine, sometimes you still gotta engage with those people. In fact, most of the time, like, if you've ever had a late meeting, ever, just like a general, like a late meeting that, like, especially a last minute late meeting, and like you don't even want to be there, but you know things gotta get done. Yeah, this look is very common. Let's see.
No, don't tell me. I already know. Things have been rough.
Oh wait, no, I can't read. I can't read. Let's see.
Things have been tough, right? In lots of ways.
Oh, did she just manifest a butterfly? All right, and it's interesting. Her gloves. I'm not sure. I'm assuming they're gloves. They're clawed. Interesting. Let's see.
In lots of ways. I mean, you lost not one, but two of the 7 stars at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah, and had no like I'll be honest. I do really, really like the Chrono Weaver arc. I think it actually was the best arc so far. Like, literally, each of the witches has just been getting better and better and better and better. I still really like the Kagami arc, though. The Kagami arc does slap. It does slap. Oh, it does slap. Oh, it does. Oh, it does slap. So, like, it's really between Kagami and Chrono Weaver for me. Oh, Shock Horde, two of the latest biggest arcs. But, on top of that, if I had one disappointment, I think the World Hater not showing up at all is one of them. It feels very, like, it feels very strange, especially, like, presumably, if they weren't watching, they must have been able to, like, feel Hitsugi getting captured, right? Like, the fact that they didn't show up at all, I get why, because if they did show up at that point, everyone would have died. So, like, that, I get narratively why the World Hater couldn't show up there, because it would just blown everything out. But, still, man, feels very strange we had to wait this long to get a reaction to it. And it's not even a reaction from them specifically, it's Fujimine pointing it out. Let's see.
And the 5 stars just doesn't have the same ring, does it? Want me to take both those seats for you? Oh, wait. I can't. I'm a witch, not a magic. Boom.
Oh, so that is interesting though. And to be fair, I do definitely understand. Like, in fact, before Chrono Weaver died, I thought that's what they were going to do with Chrono Weaver. I get humans and magics just working together, or at least coexisting. Because, like, with a lot of magics, especially of the World Hater / even Bakjam, World Hater, Bakjam, Uro less, because Uro's, like, more monstrous, but any of the magics that look super duper human, it probably would be very easy to just converse and communicate with them and not worry about it too much. Like, I get why people, even if Isame wanted to be friends, I get why people would be terrified of Isame. They're literally a gargantuan shark. Yeah, I get that. But World Hater, as long as you ignore the goat feet, which was very easy to do. I didn't notice they had goat feet until the Hitsuki panel, when Hitsuki went full Leo Campus. So, like, as long as you ignore the goat feet, I get why people would want to communicate with it. Let's see.
Why are you here?
Wait! Okay, World Hater. Your stocks were rising from the consistent glaze you were getting. Your stocks are falling, bro. Not only did you lose 2 of your 7 stars and do nothing about it, but you let this woman just walk up on your turf? How'd she even get here?
I just wanted to chat. I thought you might be down in the dumps. So I was like, I'm gonna go cheer Haiti up. Aren't I so nice?
So, presumably she knows about Hitsugi. Like, I mean, maybe it was just sensible. Like, we don't know the scale of magic sensory, and we don't know specifically the scale of Fujihime's, Fujimine. Mine or Hime? Fujimine. We don't know the scale of Fujimine's magic sensory. So maybe she was just able to sense, like, hey, two extremely, like, presumably the death of Chrono, just the explicit death of Chrono, plus Hitsugi getting captured, plus Kizaki getting captured. Like, I'm assuming that must have, like, sent massive weight. Or, like, imagine if, like, for example, right now, at least I don't think, there's no longer a buzzing sound in the background of any of my videos. I don't think, because I've gone out of my way to try and adjust it, and no one's complained about it since for a little bit, so I think I've gotten it out, and I don't hear it when I'm editing anymore. So, but that was a thing that was there. So if it suddenly disappeared, like, if a passive buzzing just suddenly disappeared, I feel like you'd notice. And maybe that's how they knew it, but at the same time, presumably Deathgrass had to report to somebody, hey, captured Hitsugi, captured Kizashi, and also Chrono Weaver's dead. Like that was presumably reported to the association, which is why Fujimine knows about it. And that's why she came to the World Hater. Shocking how she got here, though. I wonder where they are. Let's see.
Aren't I so nice? Right now, your biggest problems are...
Jeez! Well, to be fair, she did just manifest that butterfly. So it's presumably a formation of her own magic? Magic? Let's see.
Mirsum, the prophecy
Oh, that's right. That is their real name. Which is why their nickname is Sammy.
Mirsum, the prophecy magic. Madoka, the magic human hybrid. And Ichi, the witch.
That is true. Technically, like, ultimately, Mirsum, like, now, I guess the World Hater does need to take some sort of action. But, like, will they, though? What about the rest of their stars? Like, when will the World Hater just, like, pull up on the man? Well, to be fair, though, they lose. Or at least they wouldn't win, right? We saw that the World Hater was capable of being 1v2'd extensively, and even 1v1 extensively by Deathgrass alone. And then, when Togais came in, the World Hater was like, yeah, I'm just not doing this. Like, we're not doing this game. Like, that fight wasn't potentially entirely off screen. But, yeah, directly attacking the Mantinel, unless they were to do it with the other 5 stars all at once, probably just wouldn't be the move for the World Hater. And once again, we were introduced to the concept of the 7 stars by Hitsugi. And now at least we do know it is an actual thing because he wasn't fully making that up. But in that same case, we don't know how they operate. There's too little information known. So in that case, the World Hater's actions are probably very, like, their passivity does make some sort of sense. Let's see.
So, who do you want me to kill first?
I mean, the easiest one would probably be the baby. Well, then again, it has time powers. Go after the Majik. Let's see.
Who do you want me to kill first?
Eeny, me. Darn, that is. You can definitely see though. Typically, like, manipulation or torture of small creatures is a thing you do want to watch out for in children, like young people, or even just people in general. Because like, I get it. I crush insects too when they're in my home. I try to leave them alone when they're outside. Because fine, we're in neutral space. I won't bother you there. But yeah, torturing a butterfly by manifesting it, then ripping its wings off and doing this. Yeah, it's a lot. Let's see.
Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Oh, by the way, which one of them interests you the most, Haiti?
Yeah, the World Hater is very passive. I don't know. I mean, like, they are currently our main antagonists. So it is interesting to see them be so, like, detached. Which, it does make sense for their character archetype, though. The World Hater, despite being a being with a physical form, like, they are definitely meant to read as much more, like, natural calamity-esque, I'd say. They aren't meant to be the most, like, actively engaged or, like, constantly emoting character, right? I can feel that. But at the same time, it is, like, they definitely feel like they're being played with in a way that, like, something of their stature shouldn't be played with. But clearly they are. Let's see.
Your eyes don't lie. Just as I thought. It's Ichi the witch.
Yeah. Because, like, presumably while Madoka's first reported human Majik hybrid, I wouldn't be shocked if there were others before it that maybe the World Hater knows about and may have gone and personally erased. And or Murasame is just another Majik with an ability that's useful, but still another Majik. Ichi is presumably the first of his kind. And also directly intertwined with a prophecy surrounding the World Hater. So I get the World Hater being like, yeah, that one. Let's see.
It's Ichi the witch. Me too.
And then she eats the butterfly wing. That, all those donuts there. Didn't munch out a single one of them. But okay, a very W chapter. Hold on. You know I gotta draw it on that one. This chapter is packed with a bunch of stuff. Further world building, giving us a little bit more hints about like the scale of the Majik Keepers and their operation. I do like Zayaro's design and their personality so far. And obviously, you know, I love the character dynamics between Minakata, Ichi, Descaros. Like, that's just beautiful. I love that. You know, I love me some good character dynamics. But obviously, the introduction to an evil witch, like a properly evil witch. Not just one called the evil witch that still works for the association, but no, the evil witch who seems to be about that life and seems to be about taking lives. And very specifically, I am interested to at least see it addressed. The World Hater acknowledge that 2 of their 7 stars were taken away, and seeing the World Hater in general. They are our major antagonists right now. They are still wrapped up in a whole bunch of mystery, and their mystery and intrigue is only reinforced by this interaction with Fujimine, who is presumably going to be our next major antagonist, who is now going after Ichi. So, overall, W chapter. So if you made it all the way to the end of this video, please do me a favor and leave brand new threat. Leave brand new threat in the comment section down below. I want to thank you so much for watching. Please remember to leave a like, share, comment, and subscribe. Make sure that little notifications so you don't miss out on any videos that come to the channel. Also, you're going to have a page down below. You support me for as low as $1 a month. Things like exclusive videos, early content, and more. Also, now become a member of the channel for as low as $3 a month to get the same perks and more. So, those perks include the live reactions, so the series I am to review, ad variations of all my videos, early ad free access to all my videos, early ad free access to not just all my videos on the main channel, but on the second channel that got the reaction. Link in the description down below. On top of that, I do have my Twitch link down below. I stream every Friday, 8 p.m. EST. I'm trying to fix that, though. Literally, I was going to stream yesterday. I'm recording this on a Saturday. And my PlayStation it's given up on life. So I'm going to have to do some things with that. But regardless, I do also have my Ko-Fi down below if you want to try 5 minutes of a short video, 20 minutes of a long video. But now I want to thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. This is That Guy with a Pencil, writing off. I'd like to give a thank you to our sketch tier members: Eternal Flame, Riddle 4765, Astro, Glacier XZ, Zera, J2MA, Buddha Uda, Yuki Ally, Grim, Ollie, The Boy, Corey Watson,
Damon Brown, Tim Thomas, Kaving, OrXN, Dead Mean, Keon Stewart, Edwin Idwignoba, Straw, Antavius Mitchell, Superflame Zero, Weary Exile, Alex Kenny, Todd, The Practical One, Landon Clapwick, Heath Nelson, CAET, Plan Crone, Brandon Payne, Black Sage, Multi-Batman Superman, Zalims, Joe Bean, Sleepin' John, The Young Family Pastel Pandora, Mosity King DKG, Akolade Babatunde, at JDog2656, Union Eye, Funny Dude, Athenzi Shear, Sino King, Shish King, CCC, Enzo, Kitty Liddy, Gerald Harris, Dino, Victor Jacobs, Axis XE, RTM, Gangatron, Praise the Sun, Blast, Magic, Andreen Bonnet, Scion, and John Malcolm. And then I'd like to give a thank you to our line art tier patrons, Dread Zoan, Kevin Encarnacion, Midnight Lord 21, and Sean. Then I'd like to give a thank you to our Ink tier members, Shrimp the Fourth Shrimp 06. Then I'd like to give a thank you to our digital art tier members, J Warrior and AZ Void. I'd like to give a final thank you to our colored art tier patrons, Walkie Munoz and Walkie Munoz.